Good Wednesday evening, Southwest Arkansas. Welcome back, Southwest Arkansas weather here on January the 1st. Happy New Year's to everybody. One quick thing we do want to mention as we go into this new year, these video forecasts, we're going to do them every other day instead of every day this year. It's just we don't have the capability to be able to get them out daily like we would like to, but we're not going to leave you hanging in between those days where we don't have a whole lot of information or have a full video forecast out. We're still going to post these short videos that you see that are less than a minute long that basically just explain what's going on in that day or brief overview of what we're looking at for the future. In today's Outlook, though, we're going to talk about the 6-day forecast. Talk about Sunday. The cold air is on the way, as you can see with forecasted highs, and what could be in store for the longer range period. A lot to talk about, a very complex forecast, and we'll continue to monitor these changes as always for any new information. And as you can see, we also have a chance of severe weather on Sunday. We'll talk about that as well. So first, starting off with the 6-day forecast, really through the rest of this week, not a whole lot of any difference than what we're seeing right now. Highs in the lower 50s, maybe a few upper 40s as well. Overnight lows in the upper 20s and lower 30s. 0% chance of rain. Sunny skies, maybe a cloud or two, depending on what type of systems come through, but sunny skies for the most part, and a widespread frost in the mornings and overnight. Now on Saturday is where we start to see a little bit of a change. Highs are going to be in the lower 50s, overnight lows in the mid 40s, 40% chance of rain after the PM time frame. Mostly sunny skies. We're going to see increasing clouds as we go throughout Saturday with the incoming system. High temperatures are at around 63 for Sunday, but I do want to mention, you see that blue arrow there. What that means is temperatures are going to be dropping some throughout the day. We do have windy conditions as well likely there, and that'll make conditions overnight in the overnight time frame to have very cold, cool wind chills, but some scattered thunderstorms, some rain, and maybe some severe weather will be possible for your Saturday, or Sunday that is, not Saturday, Sunday, with a 60% chance of rain right now. Now on Monday, after that cold front has come through, temperatures are going to be in the upper to mid, or the mid 30s really, and overnight lows in the 20s and teens probably likely there as well, with partly cloudy or a mix of clouds and sun throughout Monday and Tuesday. Pretty much the same general idea. Highs in the 30s, overnight lows in the 20s and teens, and wind chill values when we go to start the day on Monday are going to be down in the teens, maybe even a few single digits up around Fayetteville, that area. If data continues to trend that direction. But just know a very cold morning for Monday looks likely after the rain chances on Sunday will come to an end before that cold air gets here. Once again, in Arkansas, you usually get your bigger winter weather events when that cold air is already in place. When you have it chasing your area, you gotta. It depends on where the low pressure system's at, and all of that sort of stuff. And we'll talk about that here in just a minute. If you remember earlier this week, we talked about that being a major difference there. And with the two models that we looked at, the GFS and the European model, one had it a little further north and the other one had it a little further south. And that would really depend on what type of precipitation you see. That's become more clear now, and it looks like we'll be on the severe weather side or rain side of that for most of Arkansas. Real quickly here, as we go over that, let's take a look at the severe weather outlook. First, starting off here locally across southwest Arkansas, we see a slight risk, a day 5 slight risk for Sunday, January the 5th. That goes for that yellow colored area. That's a slight risk of 15%. On your days 4 through 7 of the Storm Prediction Center outlooks, you only have 2 risks. That's the slight and enhanced risk. Then as you go into your day 1 through 3, you start to get your other risk in between those, your marginal risk. You go day 4 through 7, you have your slight and enhanced. On days 1 through 3, you have your marginal, slight, enhanced, moderate, and high risk. That's your 5 risk on those day 1 through 3, and usually day 1 through 2 is when you start to get your general potential threat maps, like what each threat is highest and what areas. But enough of that. Let's talk about the actual map here. You can see there's that slight risk that runs all the way from Pine Bluff down to about the just south of the Sheridan area, over to about the Gurdon Wheeling Springs area, just to around the Hope area. and just south and east of the Texarkana area. That includes the Camden, El Dorado, Magnolia, Lafayette County area there as well, and a few other areas there in southeast Arkansas. Now, real quickly, let's take a regional wide look at this. This also goes for a lot more than just Arkansas. Really includes portions of eastern Texas and most of Louisiana is in this, including Shreveport and a few other areas there in Texas, all the way over to really southeastern Arkansas and portions of Mississippi, including Jackson, Mississippi, a few other areas like Lake Charles, and a few other areas down there in Texas, just north of the Houston area and just south of the Texarkana area. That'll be the area that the National Weather Service currently and Storm Prediction Center is watching for the chance of severe weather come Sunday. What threats will be possible? We'll start to be able to really define those as we get closer. We will continue to watch what data shows, and as we get closer, we'll have a lot more information. Now, real quickly, let's go over that. Let's talk about what the data is showing here, and this is going to be using the GFS model, and we'll first start off with the GFS and then show you the European model. These are two of your longer range models. Now, once again, remember, models aren't everything. It's one of the many pieces to the puzzle of weather forecasting. But once again, this helps us get a general idea on what could occur, and basically we have to decipher what could occur in situations like we had earlier this week when data was when the two models were out here. You would like that to get a little closer to where they're more in line with each other, and they have started to do so. What you're going to see here, now remember, we said earlier this week that the track of the low will depend on what type of precipitation you see. If it was a little further south, that would put more of Arkansas on that colder side, more of a potential freezing rain event and all that stuff. If that low pressure system was further north, most of Arkansas would see rain, except maybe the far northern portions of Arkansas. You'll see that models have pushed or have come in an agreement and show that low pressure system to be further north. Now here you go. This is going into Saturday, and what you can see here, another cool thing, we mentioned that it's going to be windy come Sunday. See these tight little straight lines here, these tight little isobars. You can see that that's basically means that's a good indicator that that there's going to be some stronger wind gradient. It's tighter together, and that's a good indicator that we could see some windier conditions here. Now, as we continue this onward, you see here's that low pressure system over the New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma area. As we start to get closer, there'll be some rainfall. And we'll have to watch, northern Arkansas. There may be a possibility that you could potentially see something depending on how things develop. But as we move forward, that low pressure system looks to stay in the Oklahoma area. And as you do, you start to see rain about that Sunday night or Saturday night time frame. Then as you go into Sunday, this low pressure system continues to drift over northern Arkansas. And like we said, there may be a chance of some winter weather in a way over northern Arkansas, far northern Arkansas. But as you see here, this low pressure system moves over northern Arkansas, brings most of us seeing rain and maybe that chance of severe weather. Then behind that, look at these tightly packed isobars, those black lines that you see there of pressure, and that basically shows you that it's going to be windy as we go into Monday. We'll talk about that more here in just a minute, but that cold air comes in, and then really we'll have to watch that seventh time frame later in the week once that cold air is in place with if we can get any moisture. The Climate Prediction Center experimental map has an area of where it's showing that, there could be a potential of winter weather. Maybe that includes Arkansas. It's a slight chance right now, but it's an experimental graphic. I want to heed caution with that. We're going to continue to monitor it, but usually, like we said, Arkansas usually has their better winter weather chances when the cold air is in place. And if we can get that moisture, maybe we may have some chances come that time frame. It just has to line up right, and we'll see. But now let's take a look at the European model. This is mainly going to focus on Sunday. Once again, this is we take severe weather. Severe weather comes first in these sorts of situations. But you see here, as we move forward into Friday, conditions continue to pretty much be sunny and clear, but as we start to head towards that Saturday evening, Saturday night time frame, some rain. Here's that low pressure system, and the European model has been consistent on showing this low pressure system north of, or staying on that northern track And you can see here, as that does, that makes pretty much that this, if the European verifies, that pretty much pulls most of Arkansas in seeing that heavy rain, or that rain, maybe some stronger storms here. And as you go forward, you can see that 15Z about midday, or early mid morning time frame there on Sunday. You're seeing showers, storms, maybe severe potential with that, and that really increases. But look at how tightly packed these isobars are once again as that low pressure system moves through. That's a good indicator that it's going to be windy come Monday, and that'll lead to some major wind chill potential there as well. Now, real quickly, let's take a look at what the GFS shows for that wind chill potential as we go into Monday. This starts off, and what the temperature is going to be like, that drop off on Sunday. But this goes throughout the rest of the day. Remember, wind chill is basically what you would go outside and feel when the wind is hitting you in the face. That's what you would feel. That wind chill is always during the winter, usually colder than what you would have, during just in the summer. We call it the heat index. That's not due to the wind. That's more of a humidity thing. But wind chill during the winter is when that wind blows towards you, hits you in the face, and basically, simple way to put it, that's the temperature you feel when you go outside, not the actual air temperature. But that wind just makes it just a little colder there. But as you see, really not expecting a whole lot once again throughout the next few days. Then as we go into Saturday, this is wind chill. Once again, this is one model, but you can see here, temperatures are going to be on the warmer side starting out on Sunday. See here at 9 a.m., Mena potentially 50s, 60s. But look at how quick this changes as that system makes its way through. Mena could potentially by 12 drop down into the 30s already. And then you look at this temperature gradient. You're talking Mena potentially around 36. And for example, southeast portion of the state, this is just one model. So just use this as a general idea. But temperatures maybe even up in the upper 60s to temperatures maybe near 20 degrees up in northwestern corner of Arkansas. Now, say as we know here in Arkansas, that's something that can always happen. Arkansas weather is pretty crazy sometimes. But as you see here, temperatures as we go throughout that, here's 3 p.m. on Sunday, potential wind chills are already down to 28 degrees on Mena. And you can see as that cold front comes through, that cold air comes right behind at 6 p.m., potentially in the teens up near Mena, but continues to show us getting down cold overnight. And then by 6 a.m., come Monday morning, you see this is potential wind chills off of the GFS model. This shows a lot of widespread teens potentially for wind chill values come Monday morning, and that'll be a really cold morning for a few people, and for a lot of people in general, because you'll go from feeling that the day before and maybe even a few hours before feeling warmer temperatures, then it's going to drop cold real quick, and then that continues throughout Monday. You can see by 12 p.m. wind chill values still across most of the area, just near freezing potentially, but by 3 p.m. you start to see that decrease some, but then overnight that just continues to show some cooler wind chills there as well throughout that time frame. Now, real quickly, let's look at this same time frame here for the European model. So give me 1 second. Let me pull that up, and let's show you what wind chills show on this model. Now, once again, remember, this is model guidance. This isn't this is what it's used to get a general idea, not the exact forecast. But as we go into Sunday, you see it brings that warmer air in, 60s, 50s by 6 a.m. that morning, and then colder air starts to come in, 43 potentially there, and then it just drops by the afternoon, and this brings wind chill values. Once again, just take these numbers. Don't take these numbers as specifically what specifically is like, hey, that this is what it'll be at, but use this as the general idea. Basically, the general idea is we could get down into the teens for wind chill values by that morning time frame on Monday. Once again, this is the European model, so it's a little cooler, but it shows that same general thing. And it doesn't really even have us the European model doesn't have us reaching above freezing for that. Now, let's show you what the National Weather Service blend of models shows. This is going to be a little warmer. There's actually a new model coming out new model run coming out on that, but this was the earlier run earlier this afternoon, and it shows something similar. It doesn't get it as cold, but this is the blend of models. So basically, this takes all the models and all of that together and gives you a general idea. And this shows by about 6 a.m. still a little cooler. Temperatures starting to, that warm front and warm air starting to lift just a little further north. And as you can see there, temperatures in the 60s and 40s there, and then temperatures drop off quickly. And by Monday, this has got MENA in the teens, 20s across the rest of the area for wind chills. So once again, we'll have to watch and see, but it's looking apparent over the last few days that wind chill values on Monday are going to be pretty cold. Once again, that's one thing that we are watching because once again, it's cold air, and if you look at the day before, it's a big change in temperatures in a single day. But once again, real quickly, I do want to look back at what the GFS is showing currently for instability levels and go over all of that and show you the general pattern here. So let's zoom out and show you what we're mentioning with this on your day for Sunday. You'll see the 500 millibar level area or upper level winds, and what this is basically up there in the middle or upper atmosphere, and pretty much this is where you get a lot of this is what drives a lot of our storm systems and just conditions that we see down at the surface. As you go in towards this weekend, you'll see that that we'll have a system coming over here, and you can see there's just going to be a little bit of flow over us, and that'll help generate that. Well, you'll have that low level, or you'll have that low, and you'll have some more stuff going on with that as well. Let's take a look at instability once again, let's take a look here. Yeah, let's take a look at surface-based instability for that time frame, and as you can see, we get a little closer there, or actually we just passed it. I think we just passed it anyways. Give me one moment and let me see here. We'll have to see what data continues to show with this. It's bringing some instability across our area. Give me 1 second. Let me look at this and see this. Yeah, this shows us just seeing some instability, which we're still a few days out, so we'll have to watch what this shows and continues to show. But once again, taking a look at the European model with that same thing with the instability, it still shows that we could have some, and it's showing a little bit more of an increase. And once again, your instability or your CAPE is your storm fuel for storms, and we'll have to watch that closely as we get closer to really dive in depth for that severe weather threat on your day on Sunday. But once again, I think that's going to bring us to the end of today's video vlog. We went over pretty much what's going to be in store in the most Arkansas way to start off a year with weather, going from potentially talking about severe weather a Sunday, and then by the next morning, you're talking about temperatures in temperatures in the teens for wind chill values, and that's the most Arkansas way that I know to start off a year for weather-wise. So, as always, I want to say a big thanks to Palmer's Roofing, J&S Auto Supply, Terry's Place, Fort Smith Therapy, Tan Energy and Nutrition. And once again, make sure to check them out all on Facebook. Make sure to check us out on Facebook as well. We post a lot over there throughout the day. That's worded forecast. A lot of our video content is over here as always. But once again, if you like what you see as well, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like these videos and let us know where you're watching from. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and we'll get to them and answer them to the best of our ability. As always, have a good rest of your Wednesday and a happy new year to everybody, and see you back here come Friday for another look at at what's in store for this upcoming weekend and the colder air ahead.